One of Barbara Walters' greatest regrets was pushing Ricky Martin to come out gay. The late legendary TV broadcaster Barbara Walters said that she regretted pressuring Ricky Martin to come out in an infamous interview. During the interview on The View in 2000, Walters refused to drop her line of questioning after grilling Martin on the rumors surrounding his sexuality, asking, and I quote, "Do the rumors hurt? How do you handle them?" Martin dodged the unquote. Martin dodged the question by replying, quote, "Sexuality and homosexuality should not be a problem for anybody. I think that sexuality is something that each individual should deal with in their own way, and that's all I have to say about that," unquote. But Walters, who died on December 30th, 2022, age 93, refused to let it slide, asking again, quote, "Well, you know, you could stop these rumors. You could say, as many artists have, yes, I am gay, or you could say, no, I'm not. Or you could leave it as you are, ambiguous," unquote. 10 years later, Walters was asked by the Toronto Star what the one regret of her career was, and she said, quote, "In 2000, I pushed Ricky Martin very hard to admit if he was gay or not, and the way he refused to do it made everyone decide that he was. A lot of people say that destroyed his career, and when I think back on it now, I feel it was an inappropriate question."
Question or talk about your sexual orientation. You must be aware of these matters.
Of course.
Okay. Do they hurt? How do you handle them?
The word says it. Intimacy. Sexuality and homosexuality should not be a problem for anybody. I think that sexuality is something that each individual should deal with in their own way. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, you know, you could stop these rumors. You could say, as many artists have, yes, I am gay. Or you could say, no, I'm not. Or you could leave it as you are, ambiguous.
Well, that's definitely awkward to sit back and watch. He was beautiful, first of all. But yeah, I mean, we make mistakes, we learn, we grow, and it was a different time. And, you know, I think part of it is, you know, where our community and where the world has been, and that 10-year difference from when she had that first interview to the next. And, you know, I think also it's amazing for somebody of her stature to have the ability to look back and you said that was a mistake and own up to it.
I think the mistake was him not coming out directly. I mean, when you put yourself forward in the public eye, there's a reason I did it as a candidate running for office. I didn't want somebody using it against me as some sort of weapon.
Wait, you're gay?
Well, you know,
Oh.
only on days it ended Y. But you know, when you're stepping into the public arena, you have to know you're going to take shots.
Right.
And I don't mean shots of Blue Long Island. People are going to come at you, and you should be prepared to answer those things and not be evasive. And I recognize it was, you know, 10, 15, 20 years ago. There was a little difference in what was going on.
23 years.
But, you know, he was happy to cash the royalty check. So with, you know, great power comes great.
You know, we've been following this story closely since her death, if he's going to comment on it. So far, to the best of my knowledge, he has not. But we're really watching closely to see, is he going to say, yeah, I forgive her and this is all past, because this is quite a story. You watch the video, you just report that story. It's also unseemly. It's just, it feels like, wait, what time period is this? Because it was a whole different time for her to do that.
It feels gross, but it's good that she said, I'm sorry, or that was inappropriate of me.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if you think about, like, you know, Ellen was beloved and she was a huge star, and then the moment she came out, drastically had a huge change in the public eye. You know, in 2000, how many out queer people were there? You know, so for him, you know, wanting to, like you said, we should know, it's obvious that it's going to be a thing, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
But for the most part, how many people who we knew when you were growing up, we knew, but it was never talked about.
You know,
one
other thing that relates to this that I think is really interesting. Ricky Martin is an era of great interest for me, probably for you too. He's probably too old for the rest of you, definitely at the table. But the interesting thing is, in your story, when you say it may have severely damaged his career, it severely damaged his career. He went from Madonna boy toy, playing this character, which is, I think, what I hear your point, to being something else. And America just wasn't ready to embrace someone as attractive as that, not being straight. And as a result, it really dramatically affected his career.
I think it impacted his career, but it's probably changed his life. I mean, he has kids now. It's definitely probably changed his life for the better. I remember just coming out, I was in the closet because I worked at a Catholic college that I graduated from, and I finally came out in 2011 after Tyler Clementi killed himself from Rutgers College. And for me, it was really important to come out because after I came out, I had so many students saying, you know, Professor Summers, like, I wish I would have known, like, thank you. You make it easier for me to be who I am now, you know? And just the impact that he had, I know, on my life and probably so many others, and just the quality of life that he probably has now that he doesn't have to hide it is so different. I know my situation, I love being out. It's the best thing in the world. I mean, it was so hard, like being in the closet, hiding it, and not being able to like kiss my then boy partner at the time. I mean, we broke up because of my public career that I had back in a small town of Poughkeepsie, New York, you know, where everybody looked at everything and everybody reported on everything. And so while it might have impacted his career, it changed his life. And I would suspect for the better, as being a father as well. It's definitely changed my life for the better.
One last thought. Some people will watch this. There'll be a whole cadre of people that have no idea about this story at all that we've just told, that Barbara Walters did this in 2000 to Ricky Martin, and that push, and the really hard push that she did. First off, that's why she was Barbara Walters.
Right.
You cannot take that away from her. This is why for 50 years she trailblazed, and especially for women. But I also, I would make a mistake to not say, when you watch this is unseemly because it was a different time. But it is not a reflection that Barbara Walters was homophobic in any way. Barbara Walters was a dramatic LGBT fighter all the way back into the 60s. She commented in context time of the Stonewall riots. She talked about it and what was going on and what was inappropriate for LGBT, and was a fierce advocate for our community. So as unseemly as that moment was, that was the professional side from her, which she regrets. I love that you said, you know, I love that she apologized for it. It is not a reflection that she was homophobic or she was anti-LGBT in any way. You would make a mistake in coming to that conclusion with this story that we're telling you tonight.
LGBTQ+ news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+ community.